won't show up sober, but I knew that you'd make an appearance, if only to gorge yourself at the wedding breakfast. Thank you for your faith in me, Kieran said dryly. Louder to his family, he said, As groomsman, I'm off to check on Dom. I'll offer my early felicitations for joining his cursed line to ours. On this day of all days, his father said distractedly, spare us your histrionic pronouncements. His mother rolled her eyes, though it was difficult to say whether it was her son or husband who irritated her the most. Giving the Earl an ironic salute, Kieran wrested open the church doors. He raised a brow as Finn fell into step beside him. I've a wager with myself to see if you are struck dead the moment you set foot inside the church, Finn explained genially. There will be 2 charred spots on the floor then, yours beside mine. The moment the doors opened, Finn threw Kieran a rude hand gesture, eliciting gasps from guests seated in nearby pews. Kieran shared a grin with his brother. A new part of the Ransom brothers' mythos, Finn murmured as they walked down the aisle toward the chancel. At least, Kieran believed it was called a chancel, but he couldn't be certain, as he hadn't been particularly attentive when schooled on the aspects of faith. All of London's elite packed St. George's, drawn from the country's most esteemed and respected families. The groom's side of the church was filled with titans of industry and commerce, since Dom's kin was part of that world, and their elegant garments easily rivaled those worn by the aristocracy. Yet both the nobility and those with newly made fortunes stared uneasily at Kieran and Finn as they walked down the aisle. Perhaps they, like many in the city, had read of the Ransom brothers' exploits in the scandal Rakes. Everyone was eager to hear of someone else's misbehaviour, if only to feel marginally better about their own paper-thin lives and spongy morality. Kieran threw a roguish smile to the guests, delighting in the way the ladies' hands fluttered at their throats, and the gentlemen puffed out their chests. What did their discomposure mean to him? One particularly engaging woman on the bride's side caught his interest. Her fingers dancing along the lace of her fichu, her lips curved upward in an intrigued smile. Kieran winked at her, and she batted her lashes. Hell, Finn's chuckle was dry. Only you would attempt to arrange an assignation in a bloody church. I join a long and storied tradition of defiling houses of worship, but I found someone even more captivating. Get a look at the neck on the one in the second row, groom's side. It was a most enthralling neck, sweetly curved, with just a hint of soft chestnut-hued down where the hairline began. Kieran's mouth watered as he imagined gently nipping his teeth into that neck and hearing the lady's shocked, thrilled gasp of pleasure. Some men loved breasts, others were enthralled by arses or legs, but Kieran could write stanza after stanza on the allure of a woman's neck. The lady in question turned to the person seated beside her, presenting her profile. Damn, Kieran knew her. He swore aloud, earning him more censorious looks from nearby guests. Finn laughed again. Mentally seducing our best friend's sister. A new nadir has been reached. Don't tell Dom, Kieran muttered. Though Dom accompanied him and Finn for nightly carousing, Kieran was the one who truly engaged every variety of wickedness known in London. For all his boisterousness, Dom remained on the side, placing bets, bellowing songs, yet eschewing female company. He did have a habit of getting into spontaneous brawls. Given that Dom knew exactly what kind of a rogue and scoundrel Kieran was, he'd never countenanced Kieran contemplating debauchery with his younger sister. As if sensing Kieran's salacious regard on her, Celeste Kilburn turned in her seat, her gaze catching his. Her eyes widened slightly, then she offered him a tentative smile. He did his best to return it, as though he hadn't been mentally disrobing and seducing her moments earlier. It was a neutral smile, verging on fraternal. Several years ago, Celeste had returned from finishing school as a striking woman.